right, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Thursday night. Welcome to the program. Dish Network Channel 219, Pluto TV Channel 470, 1175 on Samsung TV Plus. You can also catch us live on Distro TV as well as the Roku channel. Full house tonight as we are, welcoming back our pal, our buddy, our fill-in guru, Mr. Kevin Downey Jr., sitting at the far end. Kevin, how are you back there?
I'm good, thank you, Rick. How are you way over there?
I'm doing well. You're sitting in the Slick Rick seat.
The stud seat.
Yes, he is. He is, of course. Slick Rick is out. He's in Minneapolis for his annual Prince pilgrimage, and with any luck, we'll be checking in with him tomorrow night. David Zier is here as well. How are you, David?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for asking. Exciting day today. We have Adam Weiss with us, who was one of my best friends for 30 plus years. Done a lot together, and very excited for his new show, Media Exposed. And next Thursday, we will be at the America First Warehouse for a debate watch party with the Atlanta Trump-Biden debate. A lot going on. I got some news for you, and hello, everybody.
All right, and jumping the gun on there. We have a special guest with us. I guess the newest member of the RAV family, Real America's Voice, Mr. Adam Weiss. How are you?
I'm good, Rick. Thanks for having me. David, thanks for all your advice and mentoring. Appreciate it, and I'm glad to join you all at 6B tonight, and glad to join the RAV family, and let's create some magic together.
All right. Now you've got a new show that's going to debut here on Real America's Voice. Tell us about it. Tell us, first off, when is it happening? When's the big day?
So Media Exposed, we're going to run it. It's going to be every Sunday, 1 to 2 p.m. Too much of our culture, society is shaped through the media, right? And I've been involved in politics and the media business for 25 or so longer years. I don't want to keep going on those years. But
believe me, we know what you're talking about.
So much is formulated, so much legislation, so much conscious to the young youth of America. It's pushed through the media. And unlike the media's always been biased when we started off 20, 30 years ago, but now they're activists, Rick. So they really go above and beyond to ruin people's lives, to cancel culture people, to make up lies, and if they can't do that, they'll double down. We never hear from apologies from all the misleading stories they did about Trump over the years, or the many other soldiers in the conservative movement. So I felt like there's no other mechanism out there that we need to call them out every week. We have little segments here and there, but I feel like we have to call them out on a weekly basis and showcase it. Just like this week, after that glitzy fundraiser in Hollywood where Joe Biden was staring at the space, looked like he was ready for the geriatric home, and Barack Obama had to walk him off stage. The next day, Morning Joe and the rest of the mainstream media was blaming conservatives. And then Jean Pierre over at the White House spokesperson came up with these new words, deep fakes and this fake. And I never even heard of these words before, these deep fakes. So if they can't see what we all see with our eyeballs, they'll just make up these other clues, and they start blaming conservatives for it, what we all see and the American people see.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's part of what we've been doing on a regular basis is take direct aim at the deep state media, because you're right. If they can't tell you the truth, then they have to make up a story, and the story is whatever fits the narrative, right? It's what they've been doing, and that, again, I've said this time and again. Now I've been saying it probably even before I started with this show. Is Donald Trump's greatest gift to the American people was that he exposed the media, because now once you see it, you can't unsee this. Once you pay attention and you start catching, oh, I see what they're doing there. Oh, look at this guy not answering the question. Oh, look how they're framing this particular story by during the question setup, they're saying, well, now that this convicted felon is out on jail, what do you mean? You're framing it up as saying, and maybe the question was about something else that happened in this person's life. You're already telling the audience he probably did it because we mentioned he's a convicted felon. Mm-hmm. So that's what they're going for. They're going for a narrative. They're not going for the truth. And a lot of times, and It's funny when you do it. You pull apart like a New York Times or a Washington Post story or one of the lefty rags that nobody reads anymore. But if you get like 7 to 10 paragraphs deep in the article, they finally tell you the truth. They finally will mention, oh, by the way, here's the who, what, where, when, and why. But everything else is just conjecture up and down.
Rick, it was back in 2015. We had some great candidates, right, running for the presidency of the GOP side. And it was somewhere, I forgot what interview, maybe it was with MSNBC. And Trump went right back at the media. And I said, wow, I've never seen a candidate in the GOP side go fight the media the way he fought. And he had me from there because look at George Bush, the son. He ended his presidency at like a 30% approval rate. You know why? He let the media beat the living crap out of him. And his approval rating took a dive. He never fought back. Same as Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney should have beat Obama. They let him, lecture about your basket of women in a folder, and you're putting your dog on your trunk and tying him up, and he just took it like a whipping boy and never fought back. If these Republicans would have fought back, we would have a different country. We wouldn't have to live through Obama and the race relations he created, and that's led to everything else we see now. But at least Donald Trump fought back, and he's created these monster of activists and a MAGA movement, and kind of like Instagram crowd and Twitter crowd we see right now was a direct creation of Donald Trump and his battles and his fighting of the media.
Yeah. And speaking of the media, David, hold on. There's a member of the media right here. He's an author. His name is Kevin Downey Jr., KevinDowneyJr.show.com. He does this on a regular basis.
Absolutely. And you're right. Once you see what they're doing, you can't unsee it. And then you can look for it and you will find it. You'll absolutely find it. I still, I was reading USA Today, and they were going back to Trump, Russia.
Yeah,
the Russians are back.
Right. I heard somebody on.
He never even met Putin.
Right. I heard somebody, and I was listening to the Bongino on the way in, and he had. I think it was some guy. Last name is Davis. I think Sean Davis was on. What's the damn thing that we pay for that all leftists? National Public Radio, NPR.
Oh.
Right. Doing an interview on NPR, and the caller calls in. Now this is the caller's like, you keep making excuses for Trump and he was involved with the Russians, and I'm like looking at this like, wait, dude, that was debunked by a collection of leftist Democrats led by Robert Mueller, who went after Trump. Their one job was to prove he had some connection to Russia, and they could not do it. And then we find out later, by the way, it was Hillary Clinton who was involved, and she had to actually pay a fine because it turned out to be a campaign finance violation that she created. She was part of creating and pushing the dossier. Yeah. But this is the type of people we're fighting out there.
And what other business would they have done that for 2.5 years and not have to apologize?
Yeah,
not be a couple. They never did.
Right. It's like the weatherman.
Adam. I'll never forget, I went with you to the Trump Hannity town hall back in 2016. We're past the Darrell Scott, and we flew out to Ohio, but we drove back, and every barn in Pennsylvania had a Trump sign on it, and we both knew at that point. I remember we both looked at each other, and we're like, I think Trump's going to win this. And that was the corner that was turned. Thanks to Steve Bannon. I give Bannon credit with that.
Right, and you wouldn't have known because the media never talked about those rural areas with Trump signs everywhere. Never even knew. Unless we took that trip, we would have never saw those signs or heard about them.
Yeah, and they were everywhere.
I drive to Michigan all the time. There's one Biden sign that I see, and there's one Winnie the Pooh I see. So he's tied with Winnie the Pooh for flags between Long Island and Michigan. The rest are all Trump.
I've been to 35 states with Rav. I don't think I've seen more than 3 or 4 or 5 Biden signs in 5.5 years.
No.
And it's not even a joke.
I don't see any Build Back Better hats.
No. I see Priuses with Obama Biden stickers on them.
Yeah, but that's because they couldn't scrape it off. Yeah. Because when you try and scrape it off of a Prius, you end up peeling the paint too, and they didn't want to deal with it. So they kind of left it on there. Hopefully the sun hits it enough and it fades away.
Going back to what we were talking about, I know people who still think that Trump paid prostitutes to wee-wee on the bed. They still believe that.
Well, the dossier was fake.
Meanwhile, he's a known germaphobe. Known germaphobe.
Yep.
But no. If the mainstream media plowed it into their brain, into their limited intelligence brain. They believe it, and they're holding on to that for dear life. Again, we were talking about this the other night, Adam, where you run into these liberals who are so married to this belief. They hold it so dear. It's almost like a parishioner holds a Bible. They hold it dear, right? Liberals, they hold these beliefs dear because they want them to be true. It's not that they are. It's just they don't want to believe that they could possibly be wrong because they've invested so much in their hatred of someone else.
It's like they have no other beliefs. It's like they live and breathe politics, going after people, this kind of like cult. I mean, it's like they don't have another extra life like we have. It's really sad when you run into them. They're never happy. You
No, they're not happy people.
They are a cult. Some people call it a religion. It is a cult because the way a cult works is they sort of love bomb you. You're great because you're one of us.
Right.
But if you step out 1 inch, you're out. And that's why you can go up to a leftist and say, that man can give birth. Okay, yeah, that man can give birth. Yeah, I'm not a bigot.
Yeah, and as soon as you say no, they can't, all of a sudden you're out.
Out.
As soon as you get some clarity, and because I don't know, I think we're leading like 8 billion to 0 in the birthing department.
Yeah.
Women versus trans women. Women are killing it. Real women are killing it. Trans women, you suck at being a woman because let's face it, you're not giving birth. Not even one. You can't even name me one.
Didn't Billy Crystal have a baby in the movie Rabbit Test in 1980? Do you remember that?
Yes. Oh, my God.
Right?
What
Good
a reference.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Brent Mosey.
Talk about age. Adam, you don't have to worry. I think David's older than everybody here.
Yeah, definitely. My liver is. Brent Mosey says, hi, Kevin, Robert, Morton Downey Jr.
Yeah, I get that a lot. Or my favorite is, are you related to Robert? Yeah, my dad's name was Kevin and my mom's name was Robert. We're both Jews. Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that.
Anyhow, so Adam, so your show, when does it debut?
It debuts Sunday, 1 to 2. Catch it on all the RAV networks, Roku, Samsung TV, and everywhere you can find the dial numbers. David knows all those numbers, right?
All right.
Yeah.
Well, very good. Yeah. So we'll look forward to that. Again, tell everybody the name of it.
It's Media Exposed with Adam Weiss.
With Adam Weiss.
And
every Sunday right here. It's every Sunday, right?
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Right here on Real America's Voice. Make sure you tune that in and check it out for yourself. Adam, thank you so much for coming on with us.
Thank you for having me.
To kick off the show tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. And good luck with your show, which, again, debuts right here on the Real America's Voice Network. You can check it out for yourself, 1 p.m. Eastern, right here on Real America's Voice. David Zier's got some news. Kevin Downey Jr. is here as well. We'll continue the show forward. And I got some great stuff. Did you guys see The Daily Show with... one of the Wayans?
Yes, it's hilarious.
Oh my goodness, we're gonna play that.
I can't believe you fell into that.
This is proof that liberals are all idiots.
Yeah. Oh.
All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice. Stay there.
You going to go out east, Adam? To everybody in the chat, hello. By the way, Facebook has been hacked. My Facebook has been hacked. So I'm no longer there, but I'm in YouTube. Hi, Moon Pie, Drag Blacker, Chinchilla, Jeff, Tommy Viper. Hello, Buzzard.
Thank you.
I'll see you. Give me a buzz.
Hey, nice to meet you.
And Rumble is once again down tonight. I'm going to have to get in touch with Damon about the account. Maybe something's wrong.
Okie dokie.
What's up, Amy Ames, Huey, AZ Mikey, what's cooking? Let me go into Twitter, see what's going on in the X-verse.
In the X-verse? Look at you with the new lingo.
Right.
Fucking A, man. David's here.
Tired of saying.
He gets one good night's sleep and he's coming up with new shit.
I got 2 hours. I was up at 3:30. working with Adam on his show. Let's see. Let's see. Why can't I get in? Why can't I get in live? Here we go.
I'm not moving. I think your camera's broke.
I'm not moving. The camera's broke.
See, I might believe that in this place.
Oh, I'm an X. I got in. A miracle.
Ooh. Chinese and Mexican cartels busted laundering money together in California. I've been talking about this for months.
Yeah, the drug dens in Michigan, they don't make meth anymore because it's so cheap coming in.
Really?
They don't even have meth labs anymore.
Wow.
So the police can't even shut them down,
Don't you hate when your entire industry goes to the foreigners?
Now that's funny.
I'll try to squeeze it in.
Who writes your material?
I steal it. Writing is so time consuming.
Yeah. Copying, pasting is so much more.
Ask Biden.
10 seconds already? Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Thursday night. Thank you for joining us once again. We appreciate it. And Adam Weiss, thank you for once again jumping on with us in the first segment. It's got his brand new show debuting on Real America's Voice this Sunday at 1 p.m. So make sure you set your calendars and make sure you check it out for yourself. David, you've been friends with him for a while, you said, right?
Yeah, over 30 years. We started Young Conservatives back in 1992. We were pen pals with Rush Limbaugh. We've done a lot of great things together. But, he's very understated. Adam has access to everybody. He used to fly around with the Trump campaign. He's got extraordinary clients, a great PR business. Gets everybody today, just got somebody on Jesse Waters, and he's just an extraordinary guy who's really plugged in, and he's got a good gut political instinct. And we always did a lot of cool things together over the years, and I can't say enough about him, and he's going to be an asset to Rav, that's for sure.
Well, we look forward to seeing how our show does and checking it out. So congrats to him and good luck, and hopefully everybody enjoys it.
Yeah.
The first episode, which again debuts this Sunday.
Yep, he I guess hosted with him today. He has Caitlin Sinclair coming on. He has his friend Lieb, we talked about the media spin on Hamas. Mm-hmm. Instead of celebrating the Israeli hostage rescue, 270 people died, they said, and then they bring it back to 100 people, but the left never corrects it in the media, know. So,
no. Got to get that narrative out there.
Yeah. So, he good guy.
Well, cool.
Dennis Prager just wrote an article. It's on PJ Media if you want to see it. It's actually really good, where he says the Hama-Nazis, is what I call them, Hamas, they're worse than real Nazis because the Nazis tried to hide what they were doing. And Hamas videotapes it and celebrates it and releases it to say, look what we did.
Right.
That's a whole new level of evil.
Yeah, plus the regular Nazis were way better dressers.
Yes.
When you follow the fatwas and the jihad, and you combine Shia and Sunni Islam together. And by the way, I got a story, that Israel's about to take the gloves off in northern Israel and preemptively strike Hezbollah very hard because they're worried. Things are going to get rough. So.
Yeah, we're slowly creeping towards World War III, aren't we? It's like this. The alignment is currently underway. You saw Putin with a huge welcome in North Korea as they're starting to align over there. Mm-hmm. China's taking advantage of our weakness because of this administration, and putting together a coalition for themselves, including worming in with the Saudis and the Iraqis. We see that happening. Mm-hmm. It's just. everybody. And what are we stuck with? We're stuck with NATO.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, the good news is that
NATO.
the good news is that we do still have allied relationships in the Middle East. So, like you said, we're not going to have hundreds of thousands of Iranians crossing into, Syria through the land bridge. But Hezbollah is strong. They do have a lot of rockets, probably 200,000. And they got these Merkava tank teams. They're experts at blowing up Israeli tanks. Could get ugly. But
I've seen some of the technology when it comes to. I feel like tanks these days seem like very outdated.
Well, the Merkava tank
right?
is an extraordinary vehicle. They took our M1 A2 and they added a diamond thermal laser sighting system into it. The Israelis took our F-16 and added a 90-word vocabulary to it for voice command. They are just brilliant. And they do have the best military per capita probably in the world. But the Russians are giving Hezbollah these rockets, these anti-tank weapons, and first they soften the target up with them, and then they go in with RPG teams,
right?
The Hezbollah, and that's what they're good at. We're creating a lot of chaos. I think Israel's going to do some preemptive. They've already been bombing them for 6 months, but not like what's going to happen.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this is all happening with what we have the current bag of bones in the White House. That we played it last night. It took him 10 seconds to get into an SUV. 10 seconds. Yep. Once he got to the door, 10 seconds to get to maneuver his stiffening carcass into a seat so he could sit down.
Well, I mean, let's look at the history of presidents from JFK onward. Anyone who doesn't play ball with the military-industrial complex either loses a piece of their head or gets somehow chased out of office. Nixon was chased out. Trump. Yeah.
You know what's amazing about the Nixon story, which I did not know? And again, that's one of the great things of the internet, because all of a sudden you're coming across pieces of audio and video from decades ago where interviews were done, and you never see these things. But I saw an interview with Nixon, and they were talking about how he got taken out by the CIA. It was the CIA who basically took out Richard Nixon.
They orchestrated that whole thing, and they had a guy who had never written an article in his life suddenly get hired at the Washington Post, which we know the CIA has been running since Operation Mockingbird was discovered but not ended. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then he found out a little later that two of the quote-unquote burglars at the Watergate Hotel were actually CIA agents.
Yeah.
Again, I go back to the part that drives me nuts is I used to be Team USA. I thought, we got the CIA, we got the FBI, we got all these guys doing great stuff for us. But then you find out they do it to us, too.
Yeah.
Nixon thought about using nuclear weapons twice in the Vietnam War.
Really?
69, I think, and 70 or 71. Yeah.
Wow.
And?
He didn't.
Obviously. Well,
But,
I'm sure
he talks about that.
I'm sure every leader thinks about it.
He talked about that before he died. Yeah.
You notice none of these ugly wars...
Seriously.
I'm sorry, good.
No, go on.
None of these ugly wars happen in North or South America. Every one of these, somewhere else.
Well,
we don't have...
Let's hope it stays that way.
Yeah. I was going to say, we don't really have a lot of Marxists here, but we kind of do now over the past 40 years.
Well,
Central Venezuela.
Yeah, we put Pinochet in power.
Yeah.
Right? And Salvador Allende we took out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, the part that scares me is that we do this to ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's been happening since... And it's dangerous. You have time and you go down these rabbit holes. And again, I get it. I go down these conspiracy theory rabbit holes, Team Chemtrail. I get it. I'm all in. But sometimes you end up finding out stuff and then you look it up and it's like, wow, there's a news article about this as well. So it wasn't BS. It wasn't, you find out that the, Operation Paperclip, what the name was from. Operation Paperclip, when they were scooping up Nazis and bringing them here to this country, is that they would interview all these Nazis, and if they could be of benefit, they put a paperclip on that particular file. Boom, put it over there.
Really?
Yeah, that was it. That's how they determined
recruit their scientists, right?
Who we would bring into not only the country, and that's the part that people don't. I feel like gets lost in the sauce, is that people don't realize not only did we bring them into the country, we put them into high levels of our government. Mm-hmm. They come with their families, their belief systems, their backgrounds, and then we start paying them and give them power.
Yeah.
So to them, I guess it's okay. I've said it before. Hitler may have lost the war, but I think the Nazis may have won because we got a lot of them circulating through our own government, and who are responsible for places like throughout the, including NASA.
We got their technology. Werner von Braun, their rocket technology, jet fighter technology.
At what cost?
Well, it was a result of winning World War II.
At what cost? We're looking at it now. Now,
what cost? We dominated the Soviets in the air and in space for a very long time because of that technology. That
we
the
were
Germans
beating them before that.
Yeah, but
we won World War II without their technology.
The Soviets were the first ones in space. The Soviets were the first ones in space.
It doesn't matter. We don't live in space.
They launched Sputnik, the first satellite ever. The Soviets launched. Okay, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Whatever.
We live here. We dominated here. We won World War II.
We won the space race because we had technology from the Germans.
I feel like we're giving excuses to Nazis.
What's an excuse? Werner von Braun was a genius.
I'm sure he was, and he was a Nazi.
Okay, he was a German scientist. His rocket technology.
We'll take a quick break. We'll come back live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice. Stay there. All right, we are live in the chat. I'm going to start signing into the chats because, well, you know.
I'm in the Facebook one.
Are you? What do people say? What? Let me see.
Delgado sounds like Big D tonight.
Oh, my goodness. How did that happen?
The Germans started the nuclear programs in 1939. Got a lot of technology for our A-bomb that won World War II.
All right, so we're not on Rumble again. There's I guess there's some type of technical issue that Fran is looking into.
There's an issue I can't fix on my end.
Yeah, that he can't fix on
Damon,
his.
because since he has the account.
They have to contact Rumble to fix that. So if anybody's like trying to score into the Rumble and then they jump into something else, just know that there's a technical issue, there's a technical hiccup, and we can't fix it from our end. That's how it goes. Drag Blacker is there. Ironic how much Delgado is into aliens and UFOs, but hates NASA and space race. You're right, it is ironic. I don't hate NASA, and I don't hate the space race. It's just what I feel like. Professor, what do you call it, Malcolm, in Jurassic Park. We're so quick to try and do something, we forget to stop and ask, should we be doing something?
Well, I'm glad we ended World War II.
We ended it without Nazis.
We used the technology and uranium and heavy water production.
Yeah, invading Japan, they estimate would have cost 500,000 casualties.
Yeah.
Let's see, I'm in the YouTube chat.
YouTube.
Yes.
What's up, every Yahoo?
Yeah, YouTube. We're in YouTube.
Any new songs, Yahoo? Yahoo.
Howdy, YouTubers. I'll be over to the Facebook chat and the X chat in just a moment. I'm just signing in. Tess, love you too. Tommy Viper's in there. Brent Mosey is in there. George Montgomery's in there. Sergeant Arby. Sandra
What's up,
Trumbo.
Arby?
David Zier is in there. David Zier's here.
I can't.
Buzzard 2. live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice. Just checking into the chat. Kevin Downey Jr. is here. He just found somebody who won the chat tonight already. Who said that?
I think someone named Steven said, in our nuke test, woke up Godzilla.
Yes, our nuclear test woke up Godzilla. So,
Stephen Duvall.
What chat are you in for that?
That's Facebook.
Facebook. All right. Facebook chat is in effect, so make sure you go over there. Amy Ames is over in the YouTube chat. I'm in there right now. You got George Montgomery. You got Brent Mosey. You got Moon Pie. You got Sherry McGrath. Sherry loves your tie, David.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Is that a Trump tie?
I ordered it on Facebook. It's
Did
a
you?
Facebook tie.
It's a Facebook tie.
It is. One of those vendors.
All right. I've never heard of buying clothes from Facebook. I buy clothes once in a while, and I did it today from Costco. Bought myself a pair of shorts.
Nice. The tech pant, the tech shorts.
Yes, I bought the tech shorts.
I got those too.
Because let's face it, I could pay $50 or just get the same sweatshot item at Costco for $30 less. I figure I'll do that. Save myself the money.
You know, I buy like thrift stuff on eBay, but it's amazing how much something will shrink from 1977 till today.
I don't think you're supposed to put it in a dryer.
Yeah, it's just tiny.
I don't think they had dryer technology in the 50s when they made that
We
shirt.
had this conversation with Damon about Orvis pants. I bought Orvis tech pants at Costco for $14.97. They were $109 online through Amazon.
Dang.
So, got a good deal. But now I can't find them anymore. They're out.
Right. Of course they're going to be out. Because now you talked about it and everybody went to, I might as well get the Orvis pants that David has. Imagine a bunch of people walking around with your pants on, David.
I'm telling you. 36, 32.
Hey, I don't know if you guys caught this. We're going to change things up here. Nathan Wade. Do you know who Nathan Wade is?
Yeah.
I guess the main squeeze of one Fannie Willis, DA out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, Fannie was his side piece, as I recall.
Side piece, yes. He was married at the time when they first hooked up. And, we all know, we all remember what happened to him on the stand when he was forced to testify, the long pauses when asked interesting questions about their possible hookups and their relationship.
And he walked out of, I think, a CNN interview.
Did he? Oh, you know what? I remember that. He was asked a question, and that was recently, too.
Yeah.
They actually pulled him aside during the interview because he was starting to answer a question they didn't want him to answer.
Yep.
So he's an attorney, not smart enough on his own to figure this out. So he hired an attorney who was smarter than him to say, hey, come here, let me tell you, you're not going to answer this, or you're going to answer it this way.
Yep.
So, and we actually never had a chance to play that. So now that was a couple weeks ago. So a couple weeks later, here we go. I guess he must figure, hey, the heat is off, so to speak. You know how sometimes you get caught up and all of a sudden you're everywhere and people are talking about stuff. And then you figure, okay, after a couple weeks, the heat dies off. It's like, all right, he can relax himself a little bit. Maybe take a trip to California or New York. Maybe somebody nice would want to do an interview. Maybe a nice little piece on him. Try to rebuild his.
Maybe rent a cabin.
Right. Rent a cabin. Maybe go meditate or something. But rebuild that reputation. So he can still have a career as an attorney. You would think, right?
But like a moth to a flame.
And I don't know who's advising this guy. But he might need a new advisor. And Aaron, I'm going to play this off my computer here. I don't know what to say. All I can say for us, for our benefit, David, this is great. I love whoever advised him to say, you know what, you should go do the Daily Show. Because, of course, they're going to treat you as an upstanding attorney with an impeccable record. Oh, my goodness, it's going to be a great interview. It's going to kickstart the revival. We're going to re-energize your career. You're going to be launching forward. People will forget about that stupid testimony where you took you 30 seconds to answer a question about renting a cabin. Oh, my goodness, this is going to be great. Let's set it up. Keep telling him that because that's the only way you can explain what this is. Check this out for yourself.
So let me ask you, when old girl was like, hey, babe,
this is Marlon Wayans.
You want to be in charge of this prosecution of the President of the United States who did this insurrection? Did you think, like, this could get messy? Or you was like, Nah. I'll be all right.
We did not have that type of relationship
Right.
at the outset, and we were interviewing other people for the position.
What position was it?
It was only at the position of
Which
special
position?
prosecutor.
Did that position look like this? Or did that position look like this?
So no.
After Wade resigned as special prosecutor, Trump's law dogs still tried to use their relationship to get the case thrown out. They compelled his ass to testify and grilled this hard.
Did you go to a cabin with Miss Willis ever?
But the homie had answers. Ever?
Ever.
That's the LeBron face.
He's waiting for the lunch bell. Let's get on.
No.
You remember booking a cabin?
I booked lots of cabins.
It's even funnier without the music.
When you booking all these cabins?
So
How many district attorneys you be smashing in cabins?
0.
Is it Airbnb or Verbo? Where you be getting all these cabins from? That's what my people want to know.
Where do I get them?
All right.
And there you have it. Like I said, I don't know who's advising this guy, but keep doing it.
Yeah, what was he thinking? You're being mocked. He's being interviewed by a non-existent character.
Yes.
There's been who was the guy from SNL who used to do that? He pretended to be a real interviewer, and it was just mocking people like that and making jokes.
Oh, you mean Triumph the Insult Comic Dog?
No.
I love Triumph.
I'll come up with it. Martin Short did a thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
he had to know he was going to be ridiculed, and he thought, yeah, I'll just go do this.
You know what? I don't think so. Because, the Daily Show has a history of treating liberals and Democrats, with kid gloves.
Yeah.
They don't really make fun of them. I think the gloves are off. Especially with something as with this guy. I mean,
Yeah.
That 30-second pause with, did you ever rent a cabin with Fannie Willis?
reminiscent.
If it takes you 30 seconds to come up with the answer no, chances are you're probably lying.
Yeah.
Jimmy
Right?
Glick.
That's him, Jiminy Glick. Yeah.
Right. So, I don't know what to say, except whoever is advising Mr. Nathan Wade, you're doing a bang-up job. I can't wait to see what next you come up with. Maybe you'll send him over to Tucker Carlson and have him interviewed with Tucker. That would be great. or maybe with Joe Rogan. That would be awesome. Send him over there. That'll be great. We'd love to see a response from those guys.
Hey, we got an interview with Peter Griffin from Family Guy. He's gonna break down this news story. He's gonna get you out of trouble.
Right. Or Zach Galifianakis in Between
Yes.
Two Ferns.
Yes.
Where he's just going to ask you bluntly what the hell you were thinking.
Yeah.
and how many times you had sex.
Yeah. Hilarious.
So I just thought I'd share that. There's other breaking news today. I don't know if you guys caught this. It looks like Project Veritas, still out there, has caught a Biden State Department official in a recording claiming the Great Replacement Theory is real.
Yeah. This will be on my show tomorrow. Did you see the tape yet?
No.
It's amazing. He openly admits that the State Department is trying to change the demographics of the United States. And he openly admits, this is his words, not mine. He goes, we're bringing over a lot of, his words, garbage Mexicans. He goes, if you're a hardworking Mexican with a job, why would you come here? You wouldn't. You wouldn't. We're getting all the garbage from Latin America. He also said that's part of the plan. He goes, we know criminals are coming across. We know that.
Yeah.
Now, there's a 12-year-old girl who was raped and killed in Texas.
Terrible.
Yep. And they caught the guys. Now, Jesse Kelly is reporting that they're here illegally. I was unable to find that anywhere else, so I'm not ready to say that because I don't know that for sure.
They strangled her, 12-year-old, and dumped her body in a bayou.
Yep, absolutely.
2 adult men. This is coming from, I'll click on this one. This is Daily Mail. 2 adult men charged with capital murder over horrific rape and killing of a 12-year-old Texas girl who was lured out of her home at night. Jocelyn Nungary. Her body was found floating in a creek near her Houston home on Monday. Johan Jose Rangel Martinez. That's a dead giveaway.
Yep.
Whenever you got the 4 names,
Yeah.
that usually means you shouldn't be here. And Franklin Jose Pena Ramos. Again, another one.
3 names is a serial killer.
Yeah,
4
3
names
names.
is
Right.
illegal.
Right, is an illegal. Have now been charged with capital murder following the manhunt for the suspects. Houston PD explained that the murder of anyone under the age of 15 automatically results in a capital murder charge. So that's positive. Thank you for charging them with capital murder. Previously suggested the youngster had also been raped and sent off a sexual assault kit to obtain further evidence. You see the pictures of this poor girl. She's a baby.
Yeah.
Poor girl's a baby.
This is horrific.
Yeah.
And
Officials. Go ahead.
Okay. I was going to say, she's seen on video walking with 2 older men.
Yeah.
So she thinks she's safe.
Right.
She has no idea what's coming.
Yeah. Officials are also working with Homeland Security officials to see whether Martinez and Ramos are illegal immigrants.
Yep.
I bet you
very
$1
well
to a
could be.
donut.
Yep.
The longer we don't hear about their status is more confirmation
Yeah.
that they are exactly who we think they are.
You know what? Ann Coulter said that about mass shootings. And I'm sort of the mass shooting guy at PJ
Yeah.
Media.
Yeah.
And she's 1,000% right. People don't realize a minimum of 70% of mass shootings are committed by black men.
Oh, yeah.
A
And,
minimum of 70.
100%.
Officers said the suspects who lived on the same block as the girl bumped into her and walked her to a convenience store. She called her 13-year-old boyfriend from the convenience store at around midnight. He reportedly heard her talking to the 2 adult men, according to Houston Mayor John Whitmire, announcing that at a news conference. Just disgusting.
I think
And
they
Trump
lured her.
haters.
Of
Trump
course.
haters
Yeah,
are
Trump
mass shooters.
Of course. Trump haters are mass shooters. I love that. With the Super Bowl parade in Kansas City,
Yeah.
they couldn't wait.
Would they wait a week to release their names?
Yeah, but they wanted so badly for this to be a crazy white guy with a MAGA hat.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
And it wasn't.
Well, just like the, I'm sorry,
No,
like
go
the
ahead.
gay bar shootings in Colorado. I think maybe in Columbus, but a lot of these shootings, the trans, the gay,
Yes.
they keep it quiet.
The
Yeah.
same with the Kentucky shooting. The amount of trans shooters in the past year has been amazing.
Yeah.
it's shocking. I go to redux with 2x's.info. It's all things trans crime related. The number, okay, so the trans dudettes have to use the ladies' room because they're not safe in the men's room. Well, I found 15 instances of trans people molesting kids in restrooms, and I could not find one incident of vice versa. But it just happened. A trans kid went into the men's room in a high school, and they beat the potato salad out of him, which is sad. I don't want to see anyone get beaten up. But that is the only case I have found, and I've written dozens of articles on trans craziness.
Yeah, it's insane. So hearts go out to that poor girl and her family because
It's been a rash of them.
it's just insanity. And the Biden administration, we played the clip from Mayorkas yesterday, does not want to take any responsibility.
No, he referred to Rachel Morin, the pretty blonde, referred to her as the individual instead of Miss Morin or Mrs. Morin. The individual in question. Dehumanized.
And then the governor doesn't blame Biden on the border.
Of course.
All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll do some news with David Zier, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice. Stay there. All right, we're live in the chat.
There's a girl from Indiana who was just attacked too. I don't know if she was murdered or let's see. It was 2 guys.
We are back up on Rumble.
We are.
I messaged Damon. He must be feeling okay, so he looked into it and did a temporary fix, at least for tonight.
Nice. All right, so we're back on the Rumble chat. The Rumble chat, the Rumblers. I'll have to go and click on that and see what we got going on. Do. Let's see. All right, let's see what comes up. Are we live? Are we live in the Rumble chat? It says we're live. Let me check. Do I see us? Not yet. Watching a commercial. Skipping the ad. One more ad to get through. 3 more seconds. And we're live. Yeah, we are on the Rumble chat. Say hello to Small Town Barbie. 6B Control Room is in there.
Yes, I am.
Hey, that's Fran. B-Wag. Super Cymatic. Mangalator?
What are you in Rumble?
Mangalator.
Rumble.
RD Bull is in there saying, thanks, Fran.
I typed in
Cody22. And I'm going to say hello to the Rumblers. Howdy, Rumblers.
Oh, here's another one. 5 men arrested, charged with kidnapping after missing Indiana teen found in Missouri. Let's see what these 4 named lads are.
I think last year or the year before there were 360 kidnappings in Phoenix.
Wow.
All illegals and stuff.
Oh, here we go. 5 men. One from we've got Marlon Aguilar from Honduras. We've got one from Mexico. Another from 3 from Mexico. 2 from Honduras.
Does he have 4 names?
They only give these guys. This one has 3. The others have 2. So they're not very good at abducting. Maybe you gotta have 4 names.
You gotta have 4 names.
So they might be a serial killer.
Right, it might be.
Let's see. What else is going on out there?
What do we suppose these 5 animals were going to do with this young girl?
Let's see. Voters in Atlanta.
So I always check out.
Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Thursday night. Kevin Downey Jr. is here. You can follow him at his website, KevinDowneyJrShow.com. You can find out about his radio show, his writings, and his musings on PJ Media, as well as his comedy tour. Anything you want to know about Kevin, find it on his website. It's his internet home for all the love you want to share with him.
Exactly. Thank you.
David Zier is here. He's going to do some news in just a few moments. David's got his show every Saturday morning right here on Real America's Voice. Breaking Point with David Zier. It starts at 8 a.m., so make your plans accordingly. Who do you got on display this week, David?
God, I have Chris Burgard, the director of The War on Truth, the follow-up movie to Capital Punishment. You have to go to the War on Truth movie, I believe.com. Watch Breaking Point this Saturday, 8 a.m. It's great. Great about the J6ers and all the injustices going on and all the planted feds and all the other stuff. Yeah, he was at the America First Warehouses Friday where they showed the movie. They had a packed house over there with Joe the Box. And I also have about 15 interviews from Wisconsin on the ground with real American voices.
All right, very good. So make your plans for Saturday morning at 8 a.m. with David Zier right here on Real America's Voice. We'll do some news with David in just a moment. I just want to play this real quick. And again, I'm trying to find these and share these as much as possible. And if you find them as well, share them with us. Share them on your social media. We need to keep, the very least we can do. If we're trying to save this country, right, is to be active. So you can call it being an activist, you can call it being a supporter, but stuff like this, I think, goes a long way because a lot of people have turned away from, mainstream media, reading newspapers, the old ways of getting your news. And a lot of times they're more interested in seeing, like you said, real voices, real American people, and we come across them. And a lot of these people, it's the Democrats are firing the warning signs because this is happening across the board.
They're panicking.
They're panicking to their voters or their expected voters, the people they expect to vote for them because of the color of their skin or the language that they speak.
Yeah.
This is what they expect. They don't expect people like this. What I've got here, cut number 1 in Atlanta, where these voters, and it's the second guy who really, really just nails it. Check this out for yourself. Here's cut number 1 of voters in Atlanta.
If the election was tomorrow, would you vote for Trump or Biden?
Oh, Trump. I'll vote for him yesterday.
Why?
When Trump was president, it was a lot different, for real. I know that was pre-COVID. Post-COVID, it's been a little different, but I ain't gonna lie, I fucked with Trump for sure.
Do you think that Trump should go to jail?
Hell nah.
Why?
We all break the law sometimes. It's all right. He ain't hurt nobody. Free that man.
Yeah.
I'm all for Trump, man.
So you're saying Trump 2024?
2024.
All day.
All day. See? All day.
Wow, this guy.
To me, it's not really a Trump thing. It's just that, the Republican point of views just fit me a little better.
Do you think that the trials are making him more popular?
This is all part of the plan.
Yeah.
All propaganda and bullshit. They're all friends, like the WWF. Trump, Biden, Obama, they're all friends. This ain't nothing but a series. You get a chance to write, direct, produce, and star in your own episode of life. I'm for the Trump point of views because, to me, he's just a businessman. Everybody that talk against him, talking personal. Nobody's even talking politics. I think he's a pretty good politician because he's not a politician. He might be a narcissist. And as far as that racist shit, everybody got motherfuckers they can't stand. And to be honest, he can't stand the same type of motherfuckers he can't stand. And they're not black, they're not white, they're not Hispanic. He can't stand bitches and niggas. It's 4 kind of people on this planet. 4 kind of adults. Men, women, bitches, and niggas. And every race has them. He's not really down with the bitches and niggas. I'm tired of them too. And when he was here, nobody was out fighting the war. Him and Dennis Rodman killed with the dude in North Korea.
Kim Jong-un. He was the first president to go to North Korea.
Everybody was getting money.
Yeah.
Shit was cool. I'm Mr. Nobody, and I was balling. You know what I'm saying? Shit was cool under his watch. He was real. He was doing his job. And what I liked about him the most is the things that regular people hate about him the most. He was real. He told you how he felt. He could have lied like other politicians just to make you like him. One thing about him, you know what you're dealing with.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Sounds like Tone Loc.
He does. Amazing. But that's the type of thing. Those people talk to their friends. And they talk to their family, and the word spreads, and all of a sudden, they all start going, yeah, you know what, you're kind of right. Because the guy wasn't lying. He's just talking from experience. He's talking from life experience, his point of view, and a lot of people share that point of view.
Well, now the issues are intersecting, and a lot of people are hurting out there. Everybody's working 2 and 3 jobs. And,
right, and so they can relate.
So the economy and the borders definitely exacerbated things.
Yeah. So, David Zier.
Yeah.
Now, what do you have coming up, my friend, here?
Well, I spoke to Damon today briefly.
Did you?
Just to see how he was, and he was in good spirits, and said he'll be back. So that was great. I did a bunch of interviews at the premiere of The Relentless Patriot, Scott LeBato's movie. Go out and see it. It's in over 1,000 theaters. It is terrific, and I'm not just saying that. It is terrific. Scott LeBato, he defended the cops during the George Floyd riots. He fought the Virgin Mary, have an elephant dung on her in the painting at the Brooklyn Museum with taxpayer dollars. And he went and he threw horse poop on the building and said that was his canvas. He's been arrested a lot, threw the pizza over the fence at the mayor's, offices to defend the wood-burning stove pizza ovens. Just really puts his money where his mouth is. And I spoke to Curtis Sliwa on the red carpet, cut number 5, Curtis Sliwa at the Relentless Patriot premiere in the New York Times building. I don't think the New York Times knew that was going on there. They would have shut it down.
Yeah.
Really great. So that was cut number 5 with Curtis Sliwa. Okay. But, Curtis wasn't a Trumper, but he's done so much for New York. It's really incredible how much he has done. And
he's been at it for a long time.
Oh, for
the early 80s?
50 years,
first started
70s.
Seeing Curtis Sliwa?
He was a manager in a Bronx McDonald's. He was sick of watching the crime. Started the Guardian Angels, but he's coming around on Trump. He's been really vocal. Big supporter of Scott LeBato. So we'll get to those clips in a little while for you. I also have a clip for Andrew Giuliani, from that. Did you guys see this homeless high-rise shelter that they're wanting to build in L.A. with art centers and all this stuff? It's a skyscraper for homeless people.
Yeah, it's amazing. I will never live in a place like this unless I decide to be.
I want to live there.
If I decide to be a homeless Democrat on the West Coast, maybe I can get in. I'll have to stop shaving, bathing, and sell drugs or something. But yeah, do you have the details? It's really
a gym.
Yeah.
Art room, music room, computer room, library, and cafe. I have none of those things in my house.
and all these people,
$600,000 to build each unit.
You know, all these people, they would probably end up sleeping on the floor because they're so used to being homeless. They wouldn't know what to do with the bed. So it would all go to waste. Yeah. Because let's face it, they're going to destroy it anyway.
Yeah.
Because anytime, let's face it, anytime.
Oh, could you imagine that after the first year?
You get something for free, like we're seeing in New York at the hotels. What's the name of the big hotel in New York that they've destroyed?
The Roosevelt.
The Roosevelt Hotel.
There's one hotel next to the Orpheum Theater they took over.
They are destroying them. Why? Because they don't care. It's not theirs. They've invested nothing in it. There's no skin in the game for them. So why would they care?
I think it's the Coat d'Arms Hotel also. I forget the name of it in Midtown. There's a bunch. And that guy who shot the two cops was staying in $350 a night Courtyard Marriott, the Venezuelan Trente de Aragua gang, moped gang shooter.
The animal that raped a 13-year-old in Queens has been living on the dole, as they say. He's got a place to live for free. He's got his debit card from Mayor Eric Adams. And his response isn't thank you. It's, hey, I'm going to abuse this child in a horrible way.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, we saw what happened when those guys attacked the police, giving the finger as they're coming out of court.
Yeah.
There's no respect because there's nothing in it for them. They don't have to give anything to get what they want.
No.
And that's always the problem, is that when you're handed things, it's like a petulant child. They're just going to scream and kick and scream until they get what they want. And if you give it to them, you're only going to get more kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
So, anyhow. All right, we'll take a quick break. That's a wrap on hour number 1. We'll do some video with David Zier coming up next. Kick off hour number 2 live on Studio 6B, Real America's Voice. Stay there. Did you write anything for today there, Kevin?
I did. Are you there now? One of the editors is gone. It's about woke.
Okay.
Let me see if it's up yet. We only have sometimes 3 editors a day, but usually 2, and right now we have 1.
What's the title of it?
Woke. What is it? Woke. Hold on a second. Woke, a threat to the wise, a virtue to the weak.
Didn't have time for that clip. So
Oh, I see it. There it is. Read for tonight instead of interview. Is this from you, Fran?
Yeah.
My Patriot Supply?
Yeah, Joe Reek had to cancel tonight, so they want us to do a read instead.
No problem. Now, for clips that we didn't use last night, I just have to look at yesterday's cut list.
Yeah, I don't know how many we had left over from last night.
I don't think so either. Mayorkas, normalized mental illness, CNN. Yeah, we used them all.
What's up, Mannequin Wizard in the YouTube? He's a YouTuber.
There's a reason I sent you the Biden Poroshenko clip. I just can't remember why. Oh, I know why. All right. Because of the John Solomon story. Hey, Aaron, were you ever able to find that headline? Were you able to find that headline? What was the headline again? Okay. Thank you. That's a very yes. live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Thursday night. Dish Network Channel 219, Pluto TV, Channel 470, 1175, and Samsung TV Plus. Also, check out the show if you can on Distro TV as well as the Roku channel. Follow us on all the socials. Rumble is back up and running with the Rumblers, so if you can jump into that chat, they are alive and kicking. You can also jump in at YouTube, Facebook, Twitter X, and the Getter chat, where the Getter community. Rumble is back. Yes, I just said that. And, of course, the Getter community, where you can greet people and say hello. It's the biggest one that we have so far, but we're growing the others, so give them a little love as well. We had a story we talked about. Remember we were talking about last night, the big news from John Solomon breaking, where they found that was the money that they were trying to get. Yes. The 120 million, not 20 million. No, that's nothing. It's the 120 million they're working on. We'll get to I've got a follow-up to that. We'll do a little bit later. But let's continue on with David Zier, the host of Breaking Point, every Saturday morning right here at 8 a.m. Saturdays, 8 a.m. Eastern, 5 a.m. on the West Coast. He's got some clips. And let's do with David. David, what do you got?
Hey,
I know you tried to play the one with...
Yeah, I didn't realize how much time we had left in the segment. It's my fault. But a fun one with Curtis Sliwa from the Relentless Patriot premiere, cut number 5. One of my favorite people in the whole planet, Curtis Sliwa, the heart of New York. How are you?
Well, I'm un miserable because this city is a hot mess.
It really is.
Leave it to the Democrats, from Bill de Blasio, the part-time mayor, the dope from Park Slope, to the swagger man with no plan, Eric Adams, following Joe Meshuggah Biden. It's a mess.
Why was it important for you to show your support for Scott Lebedo, the Relentless Patriot, and his premiere for his documentary?
Well, I've been in talk radio, WABC, 35 years. And I remember Scott when he was first doing his political art and the whole world turned against him. It said, this guy has all the furniture upstairs and rearranged in the office.
Never gave up. He never gave up.
And we did some initial interviews, gave him attention. He obviously built on that because of his great artistic ability, but he has a mission. And I also helped him in terms of his first arrest, civil disobedience. He was a little nervous. I'd say, hey, Scott,
hey, I called the cops and had him.
Yeah. I thought it was 81.
Not yet.
He was arrested 80 times. All right. So I want to talk a little about New York really quick. And I was in the Trump trial, all those resources for 6 weeks, when you have heinous crimes going on in the city. The girl dragged through the street with a belt around her neck in the Bronx. 9 and 11-year-old shot on the playground. A 19-year-old illegal on a moped shoots 2 cops. You've got people being lit on fire on the New York City subway. Why aren't they focusing on that? Is this on purpose?
Of course it's on purpose. Look, Tish James, the Attorney General, the highest law enforcement officer in the state, elected by the people, all she prosecutes is anyone named Trump. Then Alvin Bragg, let's face it, you could almost kill somebody, he'll cut you loose. Look at what happened to Jose Alba, defending himself. And then he finds a way to prosecute Donald Trump. This is all going to backfire on them because this just makes Donald Trump stronger, more of like a political prisoner, like a martyr.
26,000 New Yorkers have been assaulted in the street, felony or misdemeanor assault so far, just year to date. It's an incredible number.
No doubt. And these elected officials make it so that the cops now have to be powder puffs. They can't touch him on the diaphragm. Look, I've hit so many guys in my lifetime. If you ask me, where is their diaphragm? I have no idea. Just let cops be cops, and they've been trained. They'll know how to take back.
It's really not that complicated.
No. They took the nightsticks away, and you notice you don't see cops on horses anymore.
Yeah.
A cop on a horse can see everywhere, and trust me, thugs are intimidated by horses.
That district, that 42nd precinct where Trump had that Bronx rally, crime was up 42% since Giuliani left office over there. It's incredible.
Yeah, nobody thought that he'd be able to pull a crowd. And remember, AOC, all out crazy, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
She got 35 people at her rally.
Exactly. But they try to counter-rally in their backyard. And the people,
And they couldn't.
They didn't show up.
So I was expecting the Nurses Association, the United Healthcare Workers. They just didn't resonate.
Word out. They have the resource. 1199, SIEU. Those are huge unions. But the people, they've had it. Doesn't mean they're going to vote for Trump. But it doesn't mean they're going to come out and vote for Biden. They may just stay home.
Yeah, right. People in the Bronx suffering. 2/3 of the kids in the Bronx living below the poverty line. Yep. Outrageous crimes going on throughout New York City. Curtis Lewa, where can people follow you?
All you got to do, follow me on guardianangels.org. Guardianangels.org to see all the work we do all over the world now. But it started in New York City.
I've been interacting with Curtis for about 4 decades, and he's just the heart and soul of New York.
It's pretty funny when you remember. I don't know how long have you been in New York, Kevin?
Since '86.
Since '86. So you do remember the early times with the Guardian Angels, seeing them pop up on the news, and seeing the stories in the Daily News and the New York Post, right?
Yeah, I thought this guy was a hero, and I was living in Hell's Kitchen at the time, and In '86, Hell's Kitchen was a nightmare. And I'd be coming home from work. I was working at the Palladium. I was a busboy. And you get off, and you've got that walk over between 9th and 10th on 47th. And I would take the Safeway. But you saw those guys. I think they were wearing like red silk jackets at the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you could see them. And I was always like, thank God. Yeah, they saved. You know what? I bet you they have saved more lives than they'll ever know.
Right. Yeah, because
being there
and not even having to do anything, just being there, like you said, just people knowing that they're there. Much like the police, when bad guys know that the good guys are around, they kind of change their attitude.
Remember, Curtis was shot 7 times. He was hit, or maybe at least 5 hit him by the Gaudis. And they used to say the mobsters choking on their lobsters. He went after organized crime in the city, and they shot him 5 times in a cab, and he lived. A real fighter.
That.
Yeah, he dove out of the window.
Yep.
The guy driving the cab turned around and shot him.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he dove out and lived.
That's insane.
Unbelievable.
Just crazy. Yeah, but definitely a New York original.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give you 2 stats here. One, CNN is down to 396,000 viewers a day. It's like nothing.
Really?
I think Rav has, more people streaming, that's for sure. And the numbers are really bad for them. And Donald Sutherland died, 88, from Animal House, Backdraft, Ordinary People, best movie 1980, An Invasion of the Body Snatchers, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's a sad loss. Kiefer's father.
Yeah. That's what he did.
That was good. You try out for that role?
No, I didn't. It just kind of came to me because I'm not real.
Yeah, we all had a crush on Brooke Adams. Remember Brooke Adams in that movie?
Nope. Don't remember. All I remember is they'd kind of peel it away, right? Is that?
They grew up in a watermelon.
They'd
remember
peel
like
whatever.
The pods and
they pod and they'd peel it off, and then they'd get up and they'd be naked, and then all of a sudden they take the place of the person that was supposed to be there. But the only part I remember about that movie with Donald Sutherland was when he was just standing there and he just pointed at somebody and started
closing scene, the ending scene.
That was it. That's all I remember.
He became one of them. He joined the libs. He's a big lib. I think his grandfather was maybe prime minister in Canada or health minister in their socialized medicine scheme.
Yeah, no idea about that. But Donald Sutherland, kind of an icon in Hollywood.
Yeah. And David, you said the medical scheme. I was just hanging out with some friends of mine from Montreal.
Yeah.
They're telling me that people will die before they get in to see the doctor who can...
5 months to get a heart, 4 months to get an MRI.
Yeah. Yep. And even an appointment. Oh, I feel really bad today. Oh, okay. It's June 1st. We'll see you in August. Yeah, November.
We'll see you in December.
Yeah. It's months.
Yeah, it's crazy. But that's what you get with socialized medicine.
Yep. And all my lib friends, we should have what Canada has. Yeah. No, you're going to die.
Yeah, you don't want what Canada has.
Yeah, I think more men die in Canada. This was an old number maybe, but more men would die in Canada than any industrialized nation in the world waiting for heart treatment.
Wow.
But I think that's about 20 years old. I don't know where it stands today.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's gotten better, but probably hasn't. Hey, remember yesterday we were talking about the big money. Big money. It was like the Bidens. It's like, we're setting up the big deal. The big deal where they were going to have this fake company set up in Liechtenstein for tax purposes.
Yeah.
Move $120 million from the Ukraine over there. And that was, and again, because it always baffled my mind. It's like, they got such very little money, $80,000 a month. It's like, what is that to sell out your country? But now we know.
Yes.
It was a much bigger deal than we had known, and that all came to light thanks to the great work by John Solomon getting a hold of that, all I guess 3 million plus pieces of documents. But it reminded me of when they exposed the Joe Biden and Poroshenko phone call after Trump got elected. And we played this a few times, but it's been a long while. There's a recording of Joe Biden talking to Poroshenko of the Ukraine about how they're going to fix this because they don't want Donald Trump to figure out what they've been up to.
Yep.
So
he was figuring it out.
Yeah, and that's what they were afraid of, which is why they impeached him.
Yep.
Which is why everything that happened in Ukraine happened was because they knew if he got wind of what was going on, they were all done for. So here's that phone call with Biden and Poroshenko. This is cut number 2. Check this out.
Before I forget, Privat Bank. I understand the governor of the bank is tentative about setting a date certain for the transition to take place. And I'm being told secondhand that, I don't know this is her position for sure, that she is unsure of a date until she gets an agreement from you. Here's what I've told them. I've told them to get back to her and set a date, and I would talk to you about the date. Because this is getting very, very close. What I don't want to have happen.
Here it comes.
I don't want Trump to get in a position where he thinks he's about to buy onto a policy where the financial system is going to collapse and he's going to be looked to pour more money into Ukraine. That's how he'll think about it before he gets sophisticated enough to know the detail. So anything you can do to push the Privat Bank to closure so that the IMF loan comes forward, I would respectfully suggest is critically important to your economic as well as physical security. I know it's difficult. I know Kolomoisky
sounds like a threat.
A pain in the ass and a problem for everybody, but it really is critical.
Yeah. So there's the phone call, and now we know why it was so important.
Yep.
That he actually threatened him. It'll be economically and physically dangerous for you moving forward. If you guys don't close this bank down, so they can look into the bank records and see what we've been up to.
Closing down a bank to hide their skullduggery.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's amazing. But now you start to put all these pieces together.
And I hate that the world doesn't know about that phone call.
Yeah. And liberals don't. Or even if they hear it, they'll be like, well, that means nothing.
Yeah. You don't know what that means.
Because Orange Man bad.
Orange Man bad, yeah. And remember, the liberal can't listen to another news source. They can't watch this.
Right.
They're programmed not to.
Exactly. All right, we'll take a quick break. We come back. More with David Zier and Kevin Downey Jr. and you guys there. We'll jump into the chat live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice.
Maybe I'll throw to Congressman Style instead with Giuliani tomorrow.
Okay.
Mix them up. Yeah.
Whatever you want to do.
Because I got the Wisconsin GOP leader and Giuliani for tomorrow, maybe.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah.
Change of pace. You know. I always have like 100
yes.
in my bag.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I will go to Facebook.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's better. I feel like So when I drink coffee, it's like pouring lava into Mount Vesuvius.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's right. That story. What's the
Everybody's talking to me in
Trump
French.
supporters correct CNN cut number? 6. All right, cool. All right. So we'll probably come out of the break with
your read.
Okay, fine, Fran. We'll do the read.
Damon's not here. I got to bug you about it.
All right. Hey, look what's trending on X. Chemtrails.
Uh-oh.
I ain't lying. This is Mount Shasta. Hikers here boil the snow and drink it. The problem is the aluminum content is 60,000 times more than the safe level of 1,000 mcgs per liter. Now ask yourself this question. How does it get deposited on snow at an elevation of 14,179 feet? That's a good question to ask. I don't have an answer. Do you?
I don't.
What was that from?
It's a question. All right, we got a live read. I got to read a live read. All right, you know what that music means. Man, oh man. Things are changing, things are happening, and My Patriot Supply is going to be there for you when things get rough. Folks, we're not going to like this, but if you think you're prepared, take a note from millennials and Generation Z. Gen Z, they call themselves, and I hate to admit, but what they're doing is right. Research shows that they're more prepared than other generations, from their savings accounts to their emergency stockpiles. That means you have no excuse. If you're not preparing, you're failing. So if you want to prepare, get started with My Patriot Supply. Since 2008, My Patriot Supply has helped millions of Americans gear up for emergencies. Today, they're popular 4-week emergency food kits can't stay out of the customers' carts. People are grabbing them quick and often. Get yours right now at mypatriotsupply.com. That's mypatriotsupply.com. Each food kit comes with over 2,000 calories every day, plus an ultra-durable 4-layer packing, which lasts up to 25 years in storage. Order as many kits as you need and save $50 on each one, and free shipping is included. If even the younger ones can sense that something is coming, you know it must be coming soon. There's no time to waste. Stock up on the essentials, which means essential food, at mypatriotsupply.com. That's mypatriotsupply.com. Get yours today, and again, free shipping, and save $50 on each one at mypatriotsupply.com. We're going to do some more with David Zier. Also, Kevin Downey Jr. has a new article on PJ Media. We'll jump to that in just a moment. I just want to play this for you. I didn't want to forget this because, when you hear the White House talk about deep fakes and cheap fakes, and they're trying to say, oh, my goodness, the video that you're seeing is not the video that you're really seeing, when it's obvious, because it's happening in real time and we can watch it for ourselves. And we know there aren't any jump cuts happening. It's just an old man walking to an SUV and he can't get in. It's as simple as that. Nobody has to do anything to that video. Nobody has to molest it. Nobody has to alter it. They just play it. And it tells you the story of what we're looking at: a doddering old fool who's collapsing, whose insides are probably eating themselves as he meanders his way about, naked probably sometimes in the middle of the night at the White House.
Well, he did. He used to bathe. He used to go in the pool naked in front of female Secret Service agents in the White House.
I'm sure he does it now.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
So what I'd like to do, this is a public service for the administration, for the press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre. Here is what a deep fake would actually look like. This is cut number 4. You can watch it for yourself. Now, this we can tell I don't think is really Barbra Streisand. Check this out.
What do you make of the political climate of the United States now?
Well, I like Biden. I like Biden. I think he's done a good job. I think he's compassionate. He's smart. He supports the right things.
How do you feel about the specter of a second Trump administration?
I will move. I can't live in this country if he became president.
But where would you go? Where would you go?
Brought me to England. I like England.
So, of course, that would be considered a deep fake because that's not really Barbra Streisand. But they put Joe Biden's face on there.
That's funny.
So Karine, that's what a deep fake actually looks like. If you want to use that going forward, feel free. You can steal it. Just make sure you credit C3P Meme for that great work on that. That said, Kevin Downey Jr., tell us about your latest musings in PJ Media. I believe it's called Woke: A Threat to the Wise, a Virtue to the Weak.
Exactly. So what here's what the article breaks down. The reason we're having all the problems is the left introduced woke under the guise of tolerance. It's actually a complete intolerance for the political enemies. And what they do, they also tell their people, if you're on our side, you're a good person, like a cult. And if you're not, you're one of those people, and that's bad. So do not criticize any minorities if you're white. And it has been so successful that roughly 1 million British women were raped by mostly Pakistani Muslims for roughly 20 years. And the cops didn't do anything when they found out who the rapists were, because they thought it'd be racist if we get them down. If Pakistani Muslims, we can't arrest them. So they let this happen for almost 18 years in towns like Rotherham, Telford. I work with a guy, he's a genius, Robert Spencer, and he runs jihadwatch.com. Yeah, he's all great. Over
Love him.
He wrote The Critical Quran, which is the closest thing you're going to get to a translation of the Quran into English. And it's everything that they're telling you it's not. You can rape women who aren't Muslims. You can have sex with little girls. Yeah. You must kill the Jews. And they have a saying, first we kill the Saturdays, then we get the Sundays. Right. It would be the Jews and Christians. Yeah. We do have the option to convert to Islam before they cut off our heads. Jews do not. It's all there. It's an evil religion.
In Islamic teachings, it's the taqiyya. You're allowed to lie to get what your thing is. The whole thing, propagation in Europe, is the hijra. And every time a mosque is open, it's not like going like I'm a missionary to open a church. It's a fort. A mosque is a fort. It's staking a claim on foreign soil.
Wow.
And they expand, and that's what the fatwas and the imams issue to go and do that.
Yeah, and you know what? I right after 9/11, I was living in Brooklyn, and I'm watching George Bush on the TV. And at this time, not to be grotesque, but you could smell the bodies burning. And he stood there and said, Islam is the religion of peace, as we were smelling our neighbors burning.
Well, he was trying to keep the peace there. George Bush was deeply impacted by 9/11. He carried around the badges of the Border Authority police officers with him. My friend was a White House photographer for years around him. He was completely crushed by 9/11. Absolutely.
So do you think he's a globalist, though? Is he in on this?
Yeah, I don't like where he stands now.
Okay,
you know, but
I understand having
those guys. We were hit hard, and I'm doing a 9/11 documentary this summer actually with Rav, and so I got a lot of great information. I have family in the Joint Terrorism Task Force. We were blindsided completely. The Al Farouk Mosque was recruiting for 35 years for Islam. This all started with El Sayed Nosair in 1990, murdering Mayor Kahana in the Marriott Eastside Hotel. This has been going on for a long time, and it was a buildup, and it was a vengeance for February 26, 1993 failed bombing.
Yeah.
And they tried to blow up the Holland Tunnel, the GW Bridge, the FBI headquarters, the St. Regis Hotel, the George Washington Bridge, the Midtown Tunnel, and they failed on all of them. And they got us on 9/11.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Yeah. But I don't like the globalist aspect. Of course not.
Yeah. I understand having to keep the peace, but the way, I mean, that was such a gut punch. And maybe because we're New Yorkers, it hurt a little more.
I was down in the pile 2 days later, and I know that smell.
Yeah.
And it was terrible.
It's terrible, yeah. So the thing about woke is you're either all in or you're not. So that's why these Pakistani Muslim rapists were so, I hate to use the word successful, but some of them never went to jail. And now we see the same thing here. They're bringing in, the guy from Project Veritas from the State Department says, we're bringing in a new demographic.
Yeah.
Now, remember, we can't criticize those people because that would make us racist.
Yeah.
But it's not about race. I mean, if there were beautiful Norwegian women coming over illegally and committing crimes, I'd say, yeah, that's got to stop too.
Right, exactly.
And the rapes in Sweden too, in Finland, they were buried.
Buried. And Sweden, I was talking to a guy from Sweden. My friend's dad lives there. And I said, is it true about the no-go zones? He goes, oh, yeah. Yeah, you can't go.
Well, they have them. They have them not only in France. Parts of Paris you cannot go. The police will not go. You can't. There are no-go zones here in this country now. In Wisconsin, in Michigan, no-go zone. Who ever thought that would be imported here? But this is what happens, and it's amazing because being an Islamist kind of sounds a lot like being a Democrat liberal these days, doesn't it?
Well,
if you're not all in, then you're the enemy.
I think the plan is to take over Western Europe and North America with Islam, and I've got something big on the other side.
Yeah. All right. We'll continue with Kevin and more with David Zier as well. Coming up after the break. Quick break. We'll come back live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice. Stay there.
Fort Dix massacre.
Wow.
You know, we were constantly under assault by Islam.
And now they want to live here.
Well, you know, this started a long time ago.
Yeah.
This has been going on for 50 years here, you know?
Yeah. You're familiar with Dearborn, Michigan.
Of course.
So there's another town. It's sort of surrounded by Detroit called Hamtramck. And the whole city council and the mayor are Muslims now.
Yeah.
And
you were talking about that the other day.
Yeah, and the woke kids went, yay, diversity. Yeah. And then they immediately said no pride flags on Hamtramck city property. And they went, well, I don't get it. Like, what do you mean you don't get it? They want to kill you.
I know.
Yeah.
My best friend is Iraqi, and he tells me all the he has relatives in Dearborn.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Obama changed the demographic in Maine, in small towns.
Minnesota, too.
Minneapolis, Little Mogadishu. I mean, this is all by design.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, and Red Bull in the Rumble chat reminds us Islamic Center near Ground Zero was put there as a Triumph Museum.
Yeah.
Not a worship center.
Yeah.
Wow.
Of course. Of course.
Cody22 says, I live next to Hamtramck. I really thought you were making that name up.
You know, I love watching people not from Michigan go, so from the town of Hamtramck.
Yeah, because I think there's a vowel missing or something.
Yeah. It was Polish. There was a Polish mayor for roughly 102 years. And now it's all gone. It's no longer a Polish neighborhood.
Crazy. Crazy. Lady Vu, chemtrails are real. You are correct. They are. I don't care what you say, Fran. I'll fight you.
You'll lose.
Actually, there's officials talking about, this is what we do. We're trying to change the weather. They talk about it.
They've been trying to do that first.
Weather change technology has been around for 50 years.
Chemtrails, baby. Chemtrails. That's from Super Cybermatic. All right, what do we got? We got about 26 seconds. We'll continue, Kevin, with the because you said you got something bigger.
On
the other side. Now you've kind of that's a good radio tease.
Uh-huh.
Look at you.
Learning.
Look at you. All right, welcome to the party, pal.
Thank you.
And then David, you want to do that other clip here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Thursday night. David Zier is here. He's got more clips he's going to share with us, as well as some news with Kevin Downey Jr. as well. KevinDowneyJrShow.com is his website. He was telling us about, he was sharing with us the latest his latest article in PJ Media, which you can go check out for yourself, pjmedia.com. Look for the column written by him called Woke, a Threat to the Wise, a Virtue to the Weak. And then he left us with something I wasn't prepared for. He teased it. He did a radio tease as we're going. He's like, I got something bigger on the other side, David.
Yeah.
Got us all excited. We're like, oh, what is he holding close to the vest? So you've got more on this, though,
yeah.
Right?
So I believe whatever's going on in Europe will come here within 5 to 7 years. Now, we know we can't complain about the rapists coming over the border, but it's going to get worse. A German politician by the name of Marie-Therese Kaiser was fined $6,500 for quoting a crime stat, which was that the undocumented, shall we say, as they like to say, you can't call them illegal aliens, replacements, I call them. There's a small number of the population, but commit 52% of the gang rapes, and she posted that and got fined for inciting hatred. Never mind that this is happening, and women should know who to look out for. Once again, this is woke. It's coming here, and woke always throws women under the bus every time.
Yeah.
And when a guy in a skirt wants to go give a girl a concussion on the volleyball court, that's okay. Woke always tosses women under the bus.
Right. It's not about protections.
James O'Keefe, I think, has a new undercover interview with Disney. Talking about how they're not hiring any white people, and also just to get back, to what's going on in Europe, this goes back to Pristina, 1389, Kosovo, people being, the Muslims being defeated, the gates of Vienna in the 1600s, and this is all goes back to Turkey, through Tymania from the 13th century up to the Wahhabists in the 18th century in Saudi Arabia, and then fighting the secular states of Turkey and Egypt, and fighting the secular governments, and the rise of the International Brotherhood of Muslims in the early 1900s, fighting Nasser's Pan-Arabism in Egypt, killing Anwar Sadat in 1979. That's where the blind sheikh came from. So this is all about the restoration of the caliphate, and this is not the United States' fault what happened to us, but our policy sucks, and now it's out of control and we're being overrun.
Yep. And I read somewhere there have been 91 successful terror-related attacks committed by Islam on U.S. soil since 9/11.
Sure. Look at all the recruiting stations, Pensacola, Colonel Hassan, and Fort Hood. All the attacks in New York City, the Home Depot truck, the subway bomber, the pressure cooker bombers in Chelsea, in Jersey, the money laundering plot to buy missiles in Jersey, the attempts to blow up the Brooklyn Bridge. They want to kidnap Aldamado's daughter, blow up 13 synagogues in Brooklyn. Goes on forever.
Yep. And what's sick is we're taught that if we don't talk about the people trying to kill us, we are virtuous. And you've got those diehard green-haired lefties who they can't see it. Because if they did see it, it would make them one of us.
Right.
And we're the bad guys here. I was hanging out with some liberals, and they were crying that this is way back when gay people couldn't get married. And I said, yeah. And you think that's bad. In the Middle East, they're chucking gay dudes off of buildings. And it went quiet. Someone goes, whoa, Islamophobic much, Downey? Yeah. No, they're killing the people you're just trying to protect.
Right. The people that they were just championing. Now it's like, you can't say that.
You can't talk about that.
Right. You're not supposed to talk about that because that's their religion.
Yeah. Saddam Hussein's sons were throwing gay people off of buildings.
Yeah.
Putting women in barrels and shooting them. I have family who broke up the JFK gas pipeline attack, would have killed thousands of people. I have family helped break up the Fort Hood massacre in New Jersey. And we've been under attack since the Sahadi spice market in Atlantic Avenue was recruiting mujahideen, to go fight in Afghanistan. But this is a long history of terrorism in the United States.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we've got a history of being involved in fueling both sides of it, if not funding Which has come out. We've seen it. Let's talk about Benghazi. We know what they were doing there. They were running guns. Mm-hmm. They weren't running guns to good guys. They were looking to overthrow the government there in Libya, and they went ahead and did it.
Yeah, the Democrats.
It's not good.
Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton. And the CIA, they were running a mission. That's why we can't send anybody in to get them.
They were funding the Free Syrian Army.
We can't send anybody in to get them because then we'll be exposed. Why is the CIA there? We can't talk about that.
Yep.
Nobody can talk about it. But so we're on. Not only are we under assault from that. Again, you talk about the immigration issue, the Project Veritas piece. I've got it right here. We'll play it off my computer. We'll try and play most of it. Where. It's right there. They're talking about it.
Yep.
And that's the great part is that people that are involved in these kinds of things, they need to talk about it. It's because they feel like they're doing something good. Mm-hmm. Right? It's like a badge of honor. Look what I'm so virtuous. Look what we're doing. Look what I'm involved in.
You know what? If you're white and you have a BLM sticker on your car, they're going to pull you out too the next time there's a riot.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you a free pass.
No. As a matter of fact, you're probably going to get picked first because you're the weak one.
Yeah.
So they'll come after you first. It's amazing. Here we go. This is from Project Veritas. Check this out for yourself. Their latest.
Man, I wish I could tell the world about this. Oh, there's a lot of things, but mostly with immigration. I wish people knew that we're letting in criminals daily.
The big issue for the Hill, for our region, is migration. So we poured a lot of money into Central America. Like how much? $4 billion over 4 years. But now migrants are coming from elsewhere, like Venezuela.
Somos de nacionalidad venezolana. Tenemos vuelo para Nueva York.
Entonces, ¿le compraste un vuelo con Spirit?
Sí.
40.
Sí, entramos con la cita de CBP1 por el puente fronterizo.
So what is the end goal? Why are they allowing it? They want to change the demographics of the United States.
So our aid goes to female prisons in Mexico.
Some of them, yeah. To like help train them up.
I'm working with gender issues in Pakistan, so we're trying to recruit, retain, and advance more women in law enforcement. The question becomes, should we be spending U.S. taxpayers' money in our country on this issue when it's simply don't seem to care about?
Secretary Blinken, how close are you to him?
5 degrees separation. This is such a niche industry that flies under the radar in the average American person. Those people don't know what we do.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much to you, Ranking Member Risch, all the members of the committee, and thank you for the opportunity to testify today.
Yes, briefing's coming up in 2 weeks.
You know what's amazing is that he's proud of it.
Yep.
He's proud of it. You hear it in his voice. Aside from other things, he's proud of what he's doing. It's just flying under the radar, and American people don't know what we're doing.
We're evil.
Yeah,
we need to be taken.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's stunning, really, that these scumbags, and we're paying their salary. They're going to be getting a pension after they help destroy this country.
Yep.
I'm sorry, but that's got to change. I'm sorry, but if you're involved in any of this stuff and you work on the federal payroll. As soon as you get caught and exposed, you should lose everything.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking pull it all back because it's all ill-gotten gains.
How is this not treason?
Yeah.
Because it's built into the institutional culture of especially the federal government. The officers in the military, a lot of them, DOJ, 90% of them gave to Hillary Clinton in the election in 2016, who donated to a campaign. The culture is this big monolithic federal pension system that's unbreakable, and they'll do anything at all costs to protect it.
It's all about money. Yeah. And it's all about their own well-being. They don't give a damn about the American people. They just want to make sure that they keep their peace. And that's why we have this problem within the law enforcement, the intelligence community, that maybe you do have those good ones that are in there, but they know if they become a whistleblower, we see what they do to whistleblowers. They attack them.
Yeah, I have a friend named Nick who's in AID, right, Agency of International Development, and a lot of those guys can be CIA too, but you know, he's in another world. He's like kind of like a country club, a guy, and he doesn't relate to that average guy in 7-Eleven getting a cup of coffee. They're like in a different stratosphere,
Until what they've done comes and gets them.
Yeah.
And that's going to be where they're going to be like, again, I go back to Dr. Malcolm, Jurassic Park. We're so in a rush to try and do something. You don't stop and ask yourself the question, should we be doing this?
Yep.
They're so eager to be, I want to be just like the Joneses, and I want to have a Mercedes too, and I want to have the nice car, and the nice house in Northern Virginia, and all that crap that goes along with it. Meanwhile, they're all scumbags in the grand scheme because they don't really contribute to what this nation is about and how it's always been.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're just they're scraping their part of it for themselves, and they'll step on anybody's face, and they'll keep their boot on their neck just like a Nazi would to get what they want.
But it's also bigger than the government. It's there's these consultants in D.C. accounting. You know how many accountants I meet in D.C.? Oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm an accountant, and they're making like $300,000-$400,000 a year, but they're quasi-government. And NGOs, consultants, and those are the people living in Arlington and Alexandria, and every corner in DC and Arlington, there's a crane with a new apartment complex going up.
Yeah.
And if you go to the National Harbor in Maryland, at Oxon Hill, I've been there a lot. That place is gorgeous, and but it's all people who are government consultants and making six figures.
And you know what is another sick piece of this puzzle? The FBI went and arrested a doctor in Texas because he said, "Hey, they're suing the wieners off of little boys in this hospital. Not supposed to do that." So they arrested him, and he's looking at 10 years in jail. He's a whistleblower, but they're saying, "Well, you released some personal healthcare information." No, he didn't. He said they're cutting children up. And a nurse said, "Yep, they're doing it." And the FBI went and knocked on her door.
Yeah.
The federal government is going after people who are blowing the whistle on these animals who are chopping up children. It's all part of this sick woke culture, and we're going to win. But
it's a fight.
No, it's a fight.
It's definitely a fight, and it makes you wonder. Again, I saw that video of those two FBI agents showing up at that nurse's home during dinner time, like they didn't know it was dinner time. Oh, we're so we didn't know, so upset. We didn't realize we were interrupting your dinner. You knew exactly what you were doing.
At least they didn't say pizza delivery.
They knew exactly what they were doing. They did it for a reason. It's a sign of intimidation. I didn't see. I just saw a clip of it. I didn't see the whole interaction, unless that was it and they cut it off after that. I don't know. But it makes you wonder, and I hope she's contacted an attorney and being, who actually gave you her name and her address? Like, why are you did she commit a crime? Who is talking about this woman to the FBI from that hospital? That's the person who should be arrested.
Yeah, big pharma.
And what is the FBI doing? Playing right along. They got to protect their own. They got their six-figure income. They don't want to lose their house.
No, that's
they want to keep their kids in the private school.
Retirement package,
yeah,
the whole thing.
It's sickening because you thought, again, I used to be Team USA, man. I thought you don't do that kind of stuff. It's like driving past an accident. You stop and you make sure everybody's okay. You don't just, I got to get home. Come on, man. Anyhow. All right, we'll take a quick break. I'll get off the soapbox. We'll do one more segment here. Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice. Stay there. We're live in the chat.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys missed it. David's trying to get a date with Kevin.
Yeah. But
PJ Media. You can go to PJ Media, look up Kevin Downey Jr. You can, I guess you do a search in there on the page and you just put in his name.
No, up at the top
will come up. Yeah.
Up at the top, you'll see authors, and you just click on that, and we're all there. You'll see my picture.
There you go. It does say authors.
Yeah.
It looks like a lineup.
Yeah, it does.
Say, have you seen these people? I see this guy. He's right here. Who do I call? Rick Moranis? No, Rick Moran. I thought it was Rick Moranis. I'm like, what?
Whatever happened to him?
He didn't he get? Was it him? Didn't he get punched in the face in New York a few months ago?
Maybe it's something familiar about that.
It's like that. It was him or somebody that kind of reminds you of him. But he was assaulted, like just walking down the street.
Really?
I think you're right about that.
You know what? I love how they say.
Yeah, Steve Buscemi.
Yeah,
Steve Buscemi also got assaulted.
Yeah.
I love how they say random attacks, random attacks. No, it's a pattern.
Yeah.
It's a pattern of attacks.
Remember Rick Moranis' assault?
Yes. Upper West Side, I think.
Right? He got punched in the face.
2020.
Oh, wow. It was 2020. Oh, my God. It goes again to that thing where you're watching a movie. It's like, oh, I'm going to watch Armageddon again. And it was like 2001. 2001? That movie's 2 decades old.
The first problem is you're watching Armageddon again.
You know what? It's a guilty pleasure. I got to watch it. It's Bruce Willis, man.
I watch Deep Impact a lot.
I got 5 words for you.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, man.
But don't tell me that you're watching the Jake Gyllenhaal one, which was the worst one ever made.
What is that?
The Day After Tomorrow?
I've seen that, but that's kind of...
Wasn't that the one with the seas rose and the...
Is that where his father goes to Boston to get him or some crap like that? I
turned it off.
Yeah, with Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid, that's right. But I did actually watch The Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal.
It was terrible.
It wasn't terrible.
It was camp. It was campy fun.
You know what it was? It was my bar for it was so low. I think that's why it did well in my head.
But Roadhouse was the best worst movie ever.
Right,
the original.
Roadhouse is every time it's on, I'm watching.
You gotta watch.
You gotta watch it because nobody puts baby in a corner.
So if it wasn't called Roadhouse.
All right, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice. If you're joining us in the chat, then you know the debate we were just having. The last few moments of the chat had to do with the new Roadhouse movie, the Jake Gyllenhaal movie, which, when I heard it was coming out, I was like, what did they do? Is Hollywood that bad that they can't come up with something new?
The answer is yes.
Yes. Well, the answer, yes, David.
It's not that they can't do something new. They can't do something new well.
They can't do anything original. But that said, and I have to admit it, I was like, you know what? I'll watch it. What the hell? It's free. It's on Prime. I'm free. I'll watch it.
It grew on me.
It could be, and I said this during the break. Maybe my bar was so low. It's almost like the bar that people have for Joe Biden in next week's debate. You have it so low that if he shows up breathing, you're like,
he won.
That's a win, right?
Yeah, I won't see it.
Which one? The debate or
no? I won't see the new Roadhouse.
Okay,
because I think there's several movies that either should not be.
Okay, I got one better for you, and this is a cardinal sin. They're making Die Hard again.
They can't.
I know
they can't do it.
Best movie
That's absurd.
ever.
It's like why bother? It's already a classic. It's a Christmas classic.
You know they were going to cast Frank Sinatra in that role?
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, he was their first choice.
That wouldn't have worked.
It's like how's Frank Sinatra your first
Move
choice?
over, baby.
Yeah. Hey, they said come out to the coast.
Yeah.
I can't see Frank Sinatra crawling through an air duct.
No.
I'm sorry. It's not. I'm not buying that one.
That was a surprise hit too. That was just so epic when that came out in '88. I think it was.
But now with Roadhouse again, the Patrick Swayze Roadhouse, Dalton, classic. It's a movie for guys that like movies.
First
you just
Blood,
watch it.
Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, Roadhouse are movies you can watch anytime, anywhere.
Yeah.
And I'll throw Casino and Goodfellas in there too.
Maybe
I'll throw Goodfellas. I'm not as big a fan of Casino.
Oh, really?
Casino was good. Yeah.
But no, with the Roadhouse, and I was trying to explain to David because he's like, oh no, and Kevin's like, I'm never going to watch it. But it was the same story, but they came at it from a different angle. They put it in a different place. They used you know what I mean. They used his background as an MMA fighter and why he left the sport. So they changed it up enough for me, at least, that I was like, all right, I'm engaged now. Now I'm watching that part. Now I'm not thinking of Swayze anymore.
That part was good, the story.
Yeah,
but the fact that in Key West versus some small town in Missouri in 1980, where there were people who were bullies and who owned towns and who would take over businesses and threaten people, and versus Key West. I'm like waiting for a bunch of gay guys walking around drinking margaritas, and all of a sudden every bar is like this big Donnybrook every night. So that was a little silly.
So yeah, that was a little silly. But Conor McGregor as the bad guy was really funny.
He was great.
He was great. He was hilarious because it was almost like he was indestructible until he wasn't. And even after he was beaten and left for dead, you see him get up and I'm not going to ruin it because you said, Kevin, you're not going to watch it.
Nobody's going to watch it.
Because he gets up and he walks out of the hospital with just his gown on. It's just like, hey, I know I just got my ass beat and I was left for dead, but I'm walking out of here.
He was very good in that, Conor McGregor.
He was very funny.
Yeah.
I thought redoing Arthur was a cardinal sin.
Oh, my God. You kidding me? I know. Jeez. Because Arthur was a classic.
Because Arthur's a classic.
Yeah.
Certain things should not be redone.
I'm from a very small country. They recently carpeted it from end to end. Please take my hand. That'll leave you with one.
Yeah, I mean Dudley Moore was, he was Arthur. It was just that's how you identified Dudley Moore from that point forward. Is, that's Arthur.
He was a concert pianist.
So, yeah, and where was I going with this? Anyhow. I don't even know why we're talking about that. I guess because we were talking about it in the chat. But yeah, so I did enjoy the Roadhouse on a different level. I'll never equate it to the Patrick Swayze. That's a classic. This was a popcorn movie. Yeah. All right, popcorn movie. I'm good. That's all.
It grew on me. It grew on me a little.
Yeah, it grew. See, you're starting to relive it a little bit, especially when he tells the guy, he's like, "Is there a hospital near here?"
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, about 20 minutes up the road. He goes,
but he gets stabbed with an 8-inch knife, and he's walking around like nothing happened. I'm like,
David,
okay.
You have to suspend disbelief for a movie. All right. Anything else, David Zier, that you have for tonight?
Yeah, but I don't know if we have time. I got this interview with Congressman Brian Stile in Wisconsin. How long is that? It's 3 minutes, 53. Could we get some of it in, and I'll blow it up?
Yeah, we can
Cut
do that.
4.
Now, what is this about?
It's at the Wisconsin rally. He's in the 1st Congressional District.
We're so honored to have with us the congressman from the 1st District, in the great state of Wisconsin, Brian Stile. How are you?
I'm doing great. What a great day to have President Trump in here on the water. Beautiful day.
Yeah, beautiful out. It's about 90 degrees. People can't wait, but you got a nice breeze coming in from Lake Michigan, right?
You get a lake breeze sometimes in the summer. The wind's coming in, so it's about 10 degrees cooler than it'd be if the wind was going out.
I like it. I'm working on my tan out here. I got to tell you, Congressman, tell us about what's going on, election integrity in Wisconsin and around the country. I know you have the ACE Act. Tell us about that.
So I chair the Committee on House Administration, which oversees federal election law. This is an opportunity for us to make sure that we're enhancing the integrity of our elections. In particular, first and foremost, is making sure that U.S. elections are for U.S. citizens only. It's hard to believe that in places like Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, non-citizens can legally vote for municipal elections. We should be banning that. We should be working to ensure that only U.S. citizens are voting in U.S. elections.
Yeah, they tried it in New York, but the courts overturned it, thank God. But a lot going on. Let's talk about redistricting. The Democrats have gerrymandered district. It puts the Republican majority in the House Assembly in Wisconsin, and maybe the majority in jeopardy, and it affects your district too for Congress, right?
We have a liberal Supreme Court here in Wisconsin after losing a critical court race, and the impact of that is that they've gerrymandered the districts against Republicans. It's the reason we're going to have tight races across the state, but the good news is people are tired of Democratic policies, and so if we're out talking to the American people like we're going to do here in downtown Racine, it's an opportunity to really change the course of the country and win these elections despite the attempts of the Democrats to gerrymander.
Congressman, we listen to real American voices on the ground all over the country. A lot of first-time rally goers out there. People can't put gas in their car, can't put food on the table, and they're tired of the illegals getting free tax money, right?
Everything is 20% more expensive than when President Biden took office. So that's groceries, that's a home loan, that's people trying to move from paying the rent to paying the mortgage. And then you look at the crisis plaguing us at the U.S.-Mexico border that's being felt in communities all across the country. Not far from here, 1,000 migrants have moved into a city called Whitewater with 15,000 people. In the county south of us, over 40 people died of a fentanyl-related death. Securing the border impacts communities here in Wisconsin and across the country.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Let's talk a little bit about Milwaukee.
Right,
Trump comments.
We can get out of
Milwaukee,
that.
horrible place.
Again, what was his name again?
That's Brian Stile, but he talked about White House, Wisconsin,
Whitewater.
where we were talking about last night.
Yep.
40 fentanyl deaths in a town of 15,000 people.
That's absurd.
Yeah.
I firmly believe, well, we know that the Chinese fentanyl is coming over thanks to the Mexican drug cartels. A lot of these people are narcotics salespersons for the cartel. And remember, roughly 80,000 Americans die every year from fentanyl. They don't even know they're taking it. They think they're taking it as Xanax.
Really?
Yeah. It's being sent over to kill people, and China's making billions of dollars on it. And a story we talked about just before airing today, Mexican cartels and Chinese nationalists in California busted laundering drug money.
Wow.
And they shut down 1,000 Chinese pot farms in Oklahoma alone. And they've got them in Maine, too. They've busted several hundred up in the Northeast here.
All right.
But 1,000 in Oklahoma alone. So a lot of these people sneaking over the border are coming over here to grow the dopes and take over the drug market.
Yeah, it's insane. Just insane. But, that's just some of the wisdom coming from Kevin Downey Jr.
That's right. We're losing our drug jobs to the foreigners.
Yeah.
They're taking it over.
You can go to his website, KevinDowneyJr.show.com, if you want to find out about his radio show tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I almost said 11. 10 a.m., Long Island News Radio. You can check it out for yourself. David Zier, of course, he'll be back tomorrow night as well with, of course, his show Breaking Point on Saturday morning at 8 a.m. We just need you guys to join us.
Thank you.
Thank you, as
guys.
usual, for watching. As always, we salute our military, active and retired, our first responders, EMTs, firefighters, Border Patrol, police, everybody working hard to keep our lives going well. Everybody on the front lines. Kevin Downey's doing a Slick Rick impersonation. Shirt.
It matches.
Wow, talk about coordination. You got to coordinate. Wow. All right. Slick Rick, top that one. All right. Hopefully we'll hear from him tomorrow night. We thank everybody on the show. Fran and Aaron in the booth and you guys watching at home. Until tomorrow night. Peace.